Oh, snap.
Oh, snippety snap snaps.
We out here, baby.
We get in here.
I
We in
think.
here.
I think we're live.
I think we're live.
I think
I'm just gonna repeat what you say.
it's not looking good. I'm not sure if we're live or not. We may be having a technical difficulty right now.
The video quality sucks on your end.
On my end?
Yeah, but I mean, it's fine. I mean, I get it.
But I just don't even know if I don't know if we're on. I don't think we're on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It says you're on the air. It says you're in the broadcast. You
Oh,
are
there we
in the
go.
broadcast.
John and
Yeah.
PJ are here,
Ah, nice.
but
We
it's
in here.
not showing on like the YouTube channel, which wait. Oh, now we're there. Oh,
We're
snap.
there.
Yep, live, says John. I see good quality, says PJ. All right, we
Okay.
out here.
Okay. Yeah. If PJ sees good quality, that's all that matters, son. You know what I mean? That's the bar. PJ is the
Hell
bar,
no.
son.
Hilarious. If PJ sees good quality. Oh, that's so good. PJ didn't even see that one coming. Oh, snap.
He didn't see it coming. I'm gonna turn on some more lights. Look at this face. Oh, look at that face, son.
Oh, yay. Imri in the building, so we both look awesome.
Yay.
John said that was sweet letting Yoshi borrow your mic. We both have the same mic. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It came from a recommendation. I was like, yo, I'm doing a podcast. What mic do I need?
Dude, these have been my tried and trues since I started.
Yeah.
Even though
And
someone
Joe's
was
like-
roasting it on YouTube. I've been reading too many YouTube comments on these Carlos Miller clips. These
Yeah.
85%ers are savages. I've gotten called every which a white boy. But it's been fun though. Joan
There
saying
is.
this should be fun. Jody
Yeah.
in the building.
This is gonna be good, man.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Kinsey's here as well. Yep. So we'll be reviewing Kinsey, PJ, and then John. We'll save the worst for last. So Tanya says this looks so professional, dude. And this is just starting. This
We
is the
are
first of.
We are professionals. I don't like the insinuation that she put there that we weren't professionals before she got here. We are professionals, okay?
But I think Tanya has seen us. I think she's seen some of the early versions of our live streams where
okay.
we look like
Appreciate
we
you,
shot them
Tanya.
on Boost mobile phones. There's been some progression since we started doing.
We're moving on up, Tanya.
Yeah.
So we're doing the thing that we're supposed to do, which is keeping it top shelf. This is a top shelf production
Exactly.
of Hot Breath.
Yep. It's true.
And we decided to use our stimulus checks on cameras.
I just realized that I'm wearing green with a green couch background and a green plant. I look like I'm in a retirement home right now. We'll work on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like your swag level is so low right now.
Swag on Rockport, shouty. I got that Rockport. This is Eddie Bauer swag, A day. Yeah, I mean.
Eddie Bauer swag.
Keeping it a bean, yeah, I mean. Oh, Brady Comedy in here. What's up, hot brethren?
Hot brethren.
This is going to be fun. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out, tuning in. Is this a Shasta Twist commercial? Why did you hold it like that? You held it like perfectly like Shasta. Like you didn't even like grab it. You held it, you pinched it so we could see the logo. Do you have a brand deal I don't know about?
I might. Here's the story about the Shasta.
Okay.
This is like the only drink we let our kids drink. Like, and we bought like a couple for New Year's, so they can actually bring in the New Year's, and we'll give them this like every New Year's just so they drink. because we don't like to pop them up on too much Coca-Cola. And then
Yeah.
I'm taking a swig of it, and I haven't like had it in like ages, dude. I haven't had Shasta in ages.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking. Here's the thing. I'm gonna finish this, but it's trash. It is not good. I mean, so if I had a deal, I don't want the deal. I'm just doing it just because I need to keep my mouth watered.
That's what I was wondering. Is it like sugar free or something? Is that why you give it to your kids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got supposedly has vitamin C.
Oh, a soda with vitamins. All right. That's not a red flag at all. That's what's so funny. Did you see the Bert Kreischer Kool-Aid situation? He had
No.
They have Two Bears, One Cave, which is slowly what this is becoming already, I'm realizing. But it's really, we're going to do set reviews. They're like, yeah, we'll get to those in a minute. Shasta or Shasta, says Jody.
I think it's Shasta.
Shasta with a W?
No, it's not. Well, actually, it just
Shasta.
It's just SH with the just S.
Shasta
twist. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Dealer's choice on that one. Oh, hey, Evelyn. Evelyn's in here. Very nice. Yeah, this is but long story short, Bert was drinking on their podcast. He was drinking like a big gallon, and everyone thought it was water. And then he was like, hold on, let me take a sip of Kool-Aid. And then Segura was like, wait, that's Kool-Aid? Then they went on this whole thing about Kool-Aid. And then I don't know where I was going with that. Oh,
I saw you getting lost as you were telling the story.
They looked up how much sugar was in it, and there was like a belligerent amount of sugar. And he's like, yeah, but look at the vitamin C, though, was what Bert said. He was talking about the vitamin C in the Kool-Aid. Thanks, Chewy.
It's like they put one drop, and they're like, yeah, we got vitamin C. It's healthy for the kids.
Yeah. And PJ asking if this will be available on YouTube. This will be available on our Patreon afterwards. It won't be available on YouTube. But you guys get exclusive access right now, baby.
Exclusive.
Thanks, Alexis, saying much respect for all you guys do. Nice.
Appreciate you, Alexis.
Yo, we out here. We deep right now. You feel good? You feel like you're going to be famous, Yoshi? You feel like you're ready for it?
I was born ready, son. Ooh. You know what I mean? That's what I keep telling my kids. If you ready, you ain't. How's the phrase go? If you born ready,
that's exactly why they don't listen to you. Yeah, that's exactly.
You know what I mean? It's something like that. Yeah, and that's usually how the conversations go. I'm usually like, "Hey, son, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta be ready. Therefore, if you ready, you always ready." And they're like, "What are you talking about, Dad?"
This goes already.
And I'm like, already.
Well, already for the first set. You ready for this?
Let's do this.
All right. So first up, and moving into the future, everyone decided to post a 10-minute set. So we're only doing 3. But in the future, we're going to start doing 5-minute sets so we can get more people in. But we posted it in the pro group for people to sign up for. But Chewy, smash the likes. It helps the algorithm. Yeah,
smash it. Smash
that like button.
Smash.
All that algorithm. Yo, YouTube. Our YouTube is popping. Yo, like
popping.
We hit like 2,500 subscribers in like the past 28 days.
That's awesome, dude.
We out here. We just passed 10,000. I don't even know if we did a 24-hour live stream yesterday.
Did you really?
I created a playlist of our top interviews and then just
nice.
Just did a live stream of them for 24 hours.
Nice.
And nobody cared.
That's great.
Throughout 24 hours, our biggest concurrent viewership was 36 people on YouTube. A live stream on YouTube, 36 people. We're almost at 36 right now. All right, it's Akuma. Make with the funny guys. My man, a nice profile. So here we go. Chewy said Ready Player One. Let's get into it. So first up,
let's get into it.
Ready Player One. First up is actually going to be Wait. Oh. Yeah, I just need to pull her video up. There we go. So there first up will be Kinsey. Oh, Imri tuned in and hit us with a super chat. I appreciate that, nice. Imri. And I didn't mean to denounce the people that watched. I appreciate all of you. We're just making fun here. But that's like a thing young comics will do at comedy shows also, is if there's 4 people, they're like, oh, there's 4 idiots here that are trying to help. You know, it's like, that's a good tip for young comics. Don't roast the audience for being there. They're not there. They're there to help, all right? So appreciate them. If it's 2 or 200.
To laugh. They pay to laugh. So how about you just try to make them laugh?
Yeah. And if you can, the whole goal is to be able to perform in front of 2 people like it's 200. That's difficult. But the sooner you can start working in that mindset, the stronger you're going to get on stage. There's such a skill to being able to perform in front of a small crowd as if it's a big crowd. And then when it's a big crowd, you're floating. I'm telling you, dude.
Oh, yeah. That feels good.
Yeah. And so Marcus asked if we could do his next. I don't know how. I think we just have 3 today, maybe.
3 today.
We need a submission form is what we need. We didn't think this through. Guys, we're comics just trying to do dope stuff for comics, and you guys are seeing like we're pursuing Hot Breath like it's a joke. Like you try it out, you look at the feedback, you refine it, and then repeat. That's how we were pursuing Hot Breath, and you guys just happen in these early stages get to see it in real time. So congrats.
Yeah.
So Marcus, we're only doing 3 today, long story short, but we should have had a form or something for people. Marcus, put your email in the comments. If anyone wants a set review, put your emails in the comments and we'll email you a submission form. Do you want to reset your camera before we start? Were you about to, or are you doing the focus? Yeah, you can go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. There we go. Because we're using fancy cameras, and these DSLR cameras actually reset like every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
A little focus. We want to see how pretty.
Am I there?
Nah.
There it is.
We're going to critique our camera focus skills. So what we're going to do here, so that was a fun tip that we didn't expect to share. But we're going to jump into Kinsey. I was actually at this show. This was John's show, which I didn't realize was in a COVID den until I got there. But he's like, it's a brewery. There's room. And then I walk in, like, not a mask in sight. A few pointed hoods, but not a mask in sight. But the show was super dope. I gotta say, I had a blast.
The show was super dope.
The show was awesome. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. This was the only show I had done. I had been on stage, except I did a college, and I did this show. And these are the only 2 shows I've done since quarantine. But Kinsey was there, and Kinsey's she's won the Right 10 contest. I mean, she's got skills. So I'm excited. She was wanting to get a set review because she's definitely she's I would say one of the more promising members of the Hot Breathiverse. I mean, she's putting in the work. She has that mindset, that grind mentality that comedy requires. Yeah. And I'm excited to jump into this.
Man. Yeah. She's got skills. Let's do this.
All right. So first up, we have Kinsey, and we're going to play it and then kind of just do feedback as it kind of pops in our heads. So Yoshi, if you ever want to stop, feel free.
Yep.
Cool?
Yeah. I'll just say pause.
Pause. Oh, you learned pause. Maybe it was our first podcast together. You learned what pause was.
Yeah.
I taught you what pause was. Yeah.
Pause.
Mr. De Niro said pointed hood sounds like a rally/protest. I know. Yeah. I'm glad Yoshi's here to give me cred. Otherwise, I'm too white. White people we are. You know what I'm loving? I've been roasting white people half my comedy career, and now it's all of a sudden cool. Now white people are like, these crazy crackers. I'm like, I've been doing that for 5 years. I've been roasting white people, and now it's a trending hashtag. I missed the whole wave. Like, oh, we stormed the Capitol. I guess we are evil. I've been white and woke. Now all these honkies trying to ride the wave that I started. Anyway.
I think you had a moment.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Whatever. Y'all do you, white people. We'll start the next wave. Anyway. So
all right,
let's jump into the Kinsey set here. So buckle up, everyone. This is a 10-minute set. Here we go.
All right. So your first comic coming up tonight.
Oh, snap. First out of the gate, John's haircut. We need to work on editing. Just hair in general. John edited the opening of his haircut.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just real quick though, this is a good tip that I got from a bunch of bookers.
Yeah.
And I do this too, is right out the gate. Make sure your intro to the beginning of you is not too long. If someone's introducing you, it should be like 2 seconds max, and they're just saying your name and you're coming up, because as a booker, they don't want to see anybody else. They want to see you. So just a heads up, just get right into you and then get right into your jokes.
Yeah, because bookers are looking at a lot of sets, and they're just wanting to go from one to the next. So that's a great point, Yoshi.
She is somebody that I'm in a writers group with, and is very, very funny. She's on her way in right now. Give it up for Kinsey Snell, everybody.
All right. I already told I've got to keep my eye on YouTube. There's going to be some. Oh, it was you. Who's the third man? You. Oh, there's all of us. All right. Oh, all of you.
So I would say, just off the jump, real quick. Well, one, if you're gonna send a set to bookers, they don't want to see your crowd work. They want to see your material. So jump right into it. And a tip for doing a set in general: if there's been drunk hecklers, you don't want to open your set by addressing them and being like, "Oh, where were you again?" So now they feel like they're a part of your set now, and they're gonna be more likely to like have an outburst.
Yeah, for sure. And then the bookers don't get it either, right? So they don't get the jokes. So even if like the crowd is laughing, they have no context for what it was that you referred to. So even if it's like, I mean, it could have been drunk hecklers, or it could have been like the Taliban. They have no idea who you're referring to, like in the front of the, I need to watch out for you two. So it's just, it makes it hard for a booker to know what the reference is. So yeah, again, just, you got to get right into the jokes, because they're looking at a lot of sets.
And just as we're reviewing these are all things we have done repeatedly. This is not something like we just knew out of the gate. Like, I've been doing comedy 10 years. Yoshi's been doing it like over 5.
Yeah, it'll be 6 in March.
6 in March. So like, these are things we've done. Like, this is a mistake I've made countless times. So we're not saying this from like, this is wrong, how dare you. This is more like, these are things we've learned the hard way that we want to help you avoid.
For sure.
I'm gonna face this way. I recently sent my kids back to school in person. You know, I had some mental health concerns, to be honest. And I feel like it was the right call, because since August I've been happier, healthier, and I'm 90 days sober. So, and, you know what? Hold your applause. That's
great
90 weekdays.
First joke.
Okay, see, they're still home on the weekends. The second day of school, I get an email from my son's Bible teacher, and he has announced to the entire class that he knows everything there is to know about pot. And I said, well, look, I don't know about everything. Because he did get in my car this afternoon and asked me what the funny smell was. So I feel like that was kind of a disapproving laugh. I smelled some pot out there, so one of you is okay, there you go.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I like the two jokes. I mean, just right up top,
Mhm.
the joke up top is very personal and gets to like who she is as a person, which I
Yeah.
think is awesome. And then delves right into sort of just a family aspect. So it's super personal. So right out the gate, love the opening and sort of just even the setup into the second joke. But yeah, I mean, I think probably the only thing is like just a lot of words. You got to get to that laugh pretty quickly for the first joke. But that'd be the only thing that that I saw in that set, in that part of it is just get to it faster.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb is to like get that first laugh within 15 or 20 seconds. It's a good rule of thumb to just try to challenge yourself to just get into it as quick as possible. But yeah, I like how personal the material is. That's something bookers are going to look for.
Yeah,
Is like, what are we learning about this person? What unique points of view do they have that isn't just like some regurgitated tweet?
for sure. Yeah, like off the bat, she's different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she's different than your normal comedian,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that part I was like, oh, okay, this is a different kind of comedian. And bookers are always looking for like, how do I find variety? Because when they're setting up a lineup, they want a variety of people. Like they're not gonna do the same kind of comedian like for back to back to back. Like most bookers do an opener, a headliner. I mean, a feature and a headliner. They're not going to put the same type of comedian up across all three.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Nice jokes out the jump. That's from the start, Yoshi. If you don't know that slang type of thing.
But look, I read an article recently that said the greatest predictor of academic achievement in young children is how much and how often their parents read out loud to them. And I mean, look, I hope that's not true. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say because my kids are half grown, and I did not put my eggs in that particular basket. And you know what? I said I read an article that's not even true. It was the headline. I get headlines, bumper stickers. I saw a bumper sticker recently that said, "I
Nice
think,
segue.
therefore
Yeah.
I am single."
Yes. Oh.
I was like, okay, maybe that's true. But I think it might also have something to do with the Beanie Babies on the back dash. No, I don't like to judge. Actually, that's another lie. I do. I love to judge. So,
I love the segues that she's delved into all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a continuous story. And I like just how each one has gone into the next thing. Doesn't feel like a new joke. It just feels like I'm just telling you the next part.
For sure.
So far, well done.
Yeah, and segues are definitely a stylistic choice. I mean, I've had comics ask me like, "How do you write segues?" It's like I've never like just sat down and like tried to craft a segue. They just kind of a lot of my segues come from rehearsing my sets.
For
As
sure.
I'm rehearsing a set and preparing, I'll start to find ways to connect them, but it's like a segue is just kind of like some flair onto your set. It's a stylistic choice. I mean, you can just Jerry Seinfeld will do a bit about a topic and then just go right into another bit. Like, and he doesn't really tie them. Like, it's all personal preference. There's no like you should or shouldn't do segues. It's really personal preference.
For sure.
Nice. Oh, Room 203 said, didn't know comedy was this deep to critique. Yo, we giving the people what they want. This doesn't exist.
We're going deep. We're going super, super deep.
And the views keep growing. I will say for our 24-hour live stream, our highest peak was 37 concurrent viewers. We are now at 37 viewers. So
yay.
Shout out Hot Breath the Verse.
Yay.
3 minutes in of 10 minutes. No, this is going to be good.
Minutes.
I almost burned my house down because honestly, it just felt easier.
That's a great line.
A lot less frustrating than folding another load of laundry. And then my kids are all over my face. They're like, "We're hungry." like, I just fed you yesterday. So, I don't know what you want.
A lot of good misdirects.
But look,
Great.
I know a lot of moms, they get up early, they're making them breakfast, they got biscuits, cinnamon rolls, you know. I mean, I assume that's what's going on because most of my kids' classmates are fat. So something is happening. And I don't think that means they love their kids more than I love my kids. I love my kids to death. I just don't want that death to be a heart attack at the age of 35.
Pause.
Yes.
Like I like that joke, but I felt like it felt punching down a little bit. Whereas I think everything that she's been doing so far is a hard misdirect. But the heart attack at 35 felt a little like too real. Whereas I think like maybe something like I don't know. I was thinking maybe something like dead by diabetes or dead by a chocolate or something like that. Like that's where my head was, like maybe make fun of the death versus just be dead at 35. Felt very serious for a very misdirecty set all the way up to that point.
Oh, so just kind of like a softer way to, like, not so on the nose.
Yeah, not so on
dead.
the nose.
Maybe like
Not
you said, diabetes, like insulin,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, or death by chocolate, right? Or like just something like
Yeah, death by chocolate. Yeah. Chocolate
Yeah.
overdose.
yeah, chocolate overdose.
something
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, what am I doing?
I love my kids just enough to remind them to grab their jacket, but then I have no problem sitting at that baseball game in a parka with their knees tucked up in a tank top. But this kind of parenting style has made my kids very independent, and I love that they're independent. I mean, I call it independent. The social worker called it abandonment or something like that. So. But look, I don't want to stand up here the whole time and tell you what good a mom I am. All right. Plus it's bedtime and I'm at a bar, so I feel like we're probably all on the same page. It's fine. During the quarantine.
I'll say for sure, like if you're gonna submit a 10-minute set, you should know it backwards and forwards in terms of
Yes.
transitions.
Yeah.
There was a lot of going back to the paper,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That I think football was to see, mainly because that just for a feature set or even an opener set, an opener is like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes. They don't want a piece of paper up there, right?
No.
You can't have anything really like up there, so you got to know your set backwards and forwards, even in your transition. So that'd be the only thing. And then she mentioned earlier the thing about the social worker, which I think is a great joke. But I think that was the punchline. Like, and I think the social worker called it, doesn't have to say anything else.
I
Like,
think there's a
that was the
punchline there. Yeah, I think that the punchline. I mean, and if you're saying the social worker, she could pause for a laugh there, and then like tag it up with what the social worker called it, or
Did
a
you hear
felony.
what she said the social worker called it?
Isn't that what she said? The line?
Yeah, but what was the line?
I don't
Social
remember.
worker called it what?
I'm not sure. Maybe Kenzie can tell us in the comments. Are you saying exactly?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because the social worker line is the punchline.
Gotcha.
I think that's what it was. Like that social worker, like I think the social worker called it, and then just leave it at that, right? So it's just that's the dramatic effect.
Gotcha. Agree to disagree on that. I think there definitely needs to be more context for it.
For sure.
Maybe Kenzie can tell us in the comments what she said. But
Yeah.
I totally agree. Oh, abandonment, says Chewy. Called it
Oh,
abandonment. Abandonment. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like the punchline. Abandonment's a bit wordy. I think there's a punchier word there, like felony or crime or abuse. Like abandonment is a lot to say. Like a punchline is a punchline. Like you want to punch. Like you really want that to be like. That's why hard consonants are so valuable in a punchline. You know, the
For sure.
buh, cuh, duh, those types of words will really like punch harder than abandonment.
Yeah, or even like misdemeanor, because the word itself is more. It's still more of a left turn for the setup that she had.
Yeah.
But like you said, like hard consonants would hit harder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the notes thing. Yeah, I was gonna save it till the end as like an overview, but yeah, the notes thing, scrap them.
Scrap them.
Lockdown, when they were home for months and months and months and months, my survival depended on just a tremendous amount of coffee and a little bit of vodka. Mostly coffee and tequila, but always in a coffee cup. And that's a little trick I learned from my mom. She was not an alcoholic, but we were the only Methodist family in a neighborhood full of Southern Baptists.
Yes.
So,
I'm sorry.
are you Southern Baptist?
Not necessarily.
She's like,
No.
yeah. If there are any Southern Baptists in here, they are not raising their hand. But
I walked out of that scene. I like my alcohol.
well, you can get away with it in a coffee cup. So if you ever want to go back, just take the coffee cup.
Nice segue though.
Anybody in here like Family Feud?
Yeah.
Survey says one guy in the back. Here's the deal. Steve Harvey, he keeps me on my toes because I like to watch Family Feud with my son. And recently, he threw this one on us. Okay, name something that is spreadable. And if you want to know where our nation is at, legs and butt cheeks were higher than
Say
peanut butter.
cheeks.
Okay? And then there was another one that said, name something that is fun to jump on while naked.
Naked.
And then the one answer was my spouse. Hold on, sit tight. I'm coming for you. All right, so then, look, my 12-year-old, he's laughing way too hard for me to think any of this is going over his head. Okay, but the final straw was this. And this is true, you can look it up. Okay, name something that you put in your mouth but don't swallow. Family Feud. And look, but I'm going to tell you something right now. I was shocked because the most obvious answer was not on the board. And in that moment, I realized that Family Feud is a complete shame. Because there's no way you interviewed 100 people on the streets of these United States of America and not one person said, toothpaste. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I feel like we went through a lot of jokes without saying anything.
Well, we were enjoying it.
Yeah,
It
that was
fun.
good.
Yeah. I
I
was actually
enjoyed the
waiting for her to
whole-
get to like the overall punch. I was waiting for her
Yeah.
to get to that. I was about to pause it anyway.
Gotcha. I like the Steve Harvey bit, and the coffee bit. I think that's where she started, right? The coffee bit.
Yeah, drinking out of the coffee cup.
Yeah, I like the surprises and the misdirects.
Yeah.
Within it, those were really, really good. And then the comparison to her mom was the only thing I didn't necessarily get, because I didn't necessarily get like what it had to do with the joke.
Well, she learned drinking out of a coffee cup from her mom. Is how she like tied it in. Like something she learned from her mom.
I
So it's
gotcha.
like now context for all these parenting jokes she has.
For
It's like
sure.
this is more
Gotcha.
her backstory. Something that makes her unique and stands out again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I was just slow. I can be slow.
No, it's all that's why we're doing this together. You know, we balance each other out here.
But yeah, no, I liked the transitions again. The transitions were great from the coffee to the Southern Baptist thing. That whole thing, I liked all of that. Any thoughts on just the jokes themselves?
What I was really going to point out is how she dealt with the heckler. I think Kinsey did a really good job of not making the heckler part of the show. Of like
Yeah,
literally, like she like had a few outbursts that Kinsey did a good job of just ignoring. And then she like actually at one point just kind of gave her a little bit of this and then kept going. Like early on in
Yeah.
my career, like any noise I heard, I was immediately like, oh, there. Oh, reaction here. But she did a good job
Yeah.
of just continuing to go and kind of like you can actually shush. One of my favorite heckler techniques with someone's just drunk and out bursting is you can like shush them. You can shush them, and a lot of the times they will. Yeah, you just and then just keep going through your set, and the audience will follow you. The audience won't even think twice. But wait, did he just shush? They'll just go along with the set, and the heckler will kind of be like, "What? What just happened?"
Did I
And
just shush?
it's not
I just got
undefeated,
shushed.
but it works a lot of the time, and it's a very subtle way of just kind of disempowering them without it taking away from your set. And she did a good job of just continue to go through her material and not let the heckler become the show.
Yeah, I mean, and she did ask the heckler the question of whether she was Southern Baptist, which I think is really good for context into her next joke, right?
For
so
sure.
I enjoyed the fact that she went interactive for a little bit, but didn't make them the show and still powered through it.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, and she said her mom used to drink wine from a coffee mug when the Baptist neighbors were around. So what we're seeing here is not only good writing, but also like personal material, which is the whole goal at the end of the day. Like when a this is maybe more for late night, but bookers are looking for this as well. But they're looking for like, what is your unique story? What are jokes that you can tell that no one else can tell? So really start asking yourself that. And Kenzie's doing a great job of diving into those personal experiences to really find material in them.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
I realized we should have saved this one for the end, but we're going to be losing people as this keeps going. No, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Gum was the number one answer. It really was. I mean, I have seen these with my son in the room. I'm like, okay. So my mom is currently writing an autobiographical book for the grandkids. And she's doing it by answering one writing prompt a week. And I get copied on her answers. So the very first one she got was, tell us about your grandmother. And this is what she opened up with. All right, this is what she wanted to share right out of the gate. My grandmother became a single mother of 8 kids when my grandfather left her for his secretary. I'm like, wow, this is some really light reading. But she continued, and she said, I'll never forget that day. She was standing in the yard crying, pounding that hoe. I'm going to need to know more about this story. So I called my mom for some clarification, and also to be like, I'm going to need you to pump the brakes, because you're essentially writing a children's book, and if we need to gloss over some details, that will be fine, right? She's like, no, you misunderstood. She was in the garden when she got the news, and that was a typo. It should have been the hoe, not that hoe. And I was like, well, that actually does not clear anything up. Does the hoe have a name? I actually told that joke.
It's a great joke. It takes a long time to get there, and it's a bit wordy. It could just be tightened up. And part of this maybe that maybe she's doing 10 minutes. So you're kind of, if you're doing a longer set than you're used to, you can kind of fill it in a little bit here and there, which is why I loved. Did you ever do Rev Comedy Jam here in Atlanta?
Yeah.
With Derek Tennant, where you had 3 minutes.
Yep, 3 minutes.
I love doing it because it was such a great exercise. And that's why we made the Write 10 contest 90 seconds, is because it forces you to just pick the best of the best of the best. You've got to trim all the fat. You really got to squeeze out any filler.
Yep. Yeah. I remember when I submitted for the NBC shows, they only wanted like NBC Diversity for stand-up. They only wanted I think it was 2 minutes. So they wanted 2 minutes of your best stuff. And so you had to submit 2 minutes of your best stuff. But it's not like no one's doing a 2-minute set. So you had to go find what 2 minutes, even within your set, are the tightest, right?
Yeah.
And, I remember finding, okay, which joke do I pound as many jokes in as possible? But yeah, it's a good exercise just to like bam, 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 bam. But yeah, about this set for sure. I think it took long, but I like it. But I think there could have been more tags at the end as well.
Yeah.
About the hoe. Like she left it there and there could have been added more tags. I mean, all I kept thinking is these hoes ain't loyal. I know that's an old reference, but
Yeah.
it's talking about the secretary and that she got left for some grandmother got left for something else. So I was like, oh, these hoes ain't loyal. So
Maybe instead of a gold digger, maybe she's like a ditch digger or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. A reference I've heard before is like when you get a laugh, it's like look at it like there's more meat on that bone. Like that's
For
when you start to
sure.
tag it. When you find the laugh, a lot of the times that's where you start and see of all the different ways you can
Mhm.
start to tag it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I bet if she did like a Venn diagram of gardening and hoes,
Yeah,
it could be a lot like in the middle of references around that.
for
But yeah,
sure. Especially when you find such a clear premise like that of like hoe and then garden tools. Like once you find something super clear like that, any garden reference you make, I mean, a lot of them are gonna instantly be funny just because of their reference point.
yeah. Great point.
Very nice. All right, we're almost there, kiddos. We were like, hey, let's do set reviews. People are like, yeah, let me send in my 10 minutes. No, I mean, we love all of you and appreciate you. But we're glad we only did 3. And we're glad. Well, we should have closed on this one, but that's all we'll say. No, they're fine.
At a Baptist preschool staff Christmas party on Sunday night, and it split the room right in half. And I'm pretty sure the only reason the people who were laughing was because they were laughing at how uncomfortable the people who weren't laughing. It was a great time for me, either way. I don't care. But my mom. So the second thing she got. She said, I'm having trouble with my second answer because it's saying, what is your favorite book? And I don't have a favorite book, but I do have some favorite genres. And I was like, do you mean genres? And she was like, no, genres, like westerns or detective stories. Okay, I got it. She got it. I got it over here. But she's always mispronouncing words and just like saying ridiculous things. It's really embarrassing when we go out to eat, especially. Because one time she ordered a Bisson burger on a brioche bun. And, we're all expected to just sit there with a straight face. But the best was we were at a Chinese restaurant and he said, what type of soup would you like with your meal? And she said, wonton soup. And he said, yes, ma'am. You do get soup with your meal. What kind of soup would you like? Wonton soup. Yes, ma'am. You do get soup with your meal. Wonton soup. And look, this went on for entirely too long, like way too long. And he's looking at me for help, and I said, no. I actually need to see how this plays out. All right, hey, you guys have been great. This is a great room. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Kinsey said listening to this is so hard. Yeah. Listening back on your sets is difficult, but it's essential.
Oh, for sure. Very essential. But good stuff overall. I mean,
I agree.
Overall,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the set. From the garden holes bit into the grandma and the wording of her taking words out of not even out of context, but pronouncing them very different.
Yeah.
Very funny. Great closer.
Mm-hmm.
And almost think like you can add more examples as well into it. I think they're just very, very funny, but they have a whole context and they're very personal, right? So overall, the segues into everything like started out as I kind of not crazy about my kids in quarantine, going into just her perspective on parenting, going into drinking a lot, going into grandma's, going into here's what my grandma does, and she pronounces stuff really differently. That shows personality overall. So
yeah,
I enjoyed that part.
I did too. Yeah, I like how personal it was. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, in the final joke, I think there are more references she could have tagged it up with, kind of like we were talking about with the hoe reference in the joke before.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
she maybe even you could have delivered them in your mom's voice, even kind of like create
Yeah,
a character within that act out, really bring it to life even more.
for
But
sure.
overall, I enjoyed the set. It's very personal. It was like, I mean, great writing, great misdirects. The notes, get them out of there.
The notes gotta go.
Get
The
them out
notes
of there.
gotta go.
Come
Yep.
on,
You know
you're a
the jokes.
comic. Stand in it.
You know the
Suffer
jokes.
in it. It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
fault if you don't remember them. And
Yep.
what's interesting is it almost like she was glancing at it so quickly. It was probably almost just like a tick. It was almost just like a nervous tick because she knew it was
Yeah.
there, so she'll look.
For sure.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if she was most of the time seeing what was even on it.
And you know what's surprising is that all her jokes ran into the other transitions. I was surprised she was using the notes because they were already transitioning into the next stuff. So she'd say something about something that she'd use for the next joke.
Yeah.
So it's like your joke already has a transition in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the notes thing is a personal preference. I mean, Gerard Carmichael did a comedy special with his notes on the stage. It's
Yeah,
like,
he's also Gerard Carmichael, who's been
Exactly.
doing comedy for forever. Like you can break the rules after
I'm
you
just
establish.
saying, like, it's always
Yeah.
been like a personal preference of mine. Like, I can only think of a handful of times I've ever used notes. Like, it's always like stand in it, be in the moment. That's when you really start to learn how to survive on stage. Is if you do forget, what now?
Yeah.
All your weapons
Yeah.
are gone. You've got to find more, and you do.
Yeah, but I think if you use notes, the notes have to be a part of the joke. That's
Yeah.
the key. Like you can't use notes to help with the joke. They have to be a part of the joke. If you're just using it to remember the joke, people will be like, "Oh, you just forgot the joke, so you needed to go back to the reference." Like
Right.
Carmichael uses the notes as part of the joke, just like Dion Cole.
Dion
He
Cole
uses
does,
his notes and just, which is like my favorite thing, but it's a part of the joke.
Right. Good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah, and Kinsey was talking about, she said, like, yeah, just not being on stage a lot made her more dependent on the notes.
Oh, for sure. No,
Yeah.
understandable. Yeah. Quarantine, kids. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And and we're not like roasting you for using them. I mean, you go to any open mic, you're going to see people using them. We're just kind of telling
Oh,
you our own
for
personal
sure.
opinion. And
Yeah.
Marcus had
And we're
brought
trying
up,
to get you bookable, Kinsey. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
to get to a bookable element, right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be hard to submit this because a booker is going to see that you've got notes on stage and they're going to wonder, do you remember your jokes? Even if the jokes were super tight, they're going to be like, well, if she performs for me, is she going to need the notebook to remember the jokes?
Agreed. Yeah, let's keep it going here. Marcus saying, how does Andrew
Yeah.
Schultz make his sound so good when his set's on YouTube? Well, what Andrew does is he has two separate tracks. He has an audio track and then he has video. What you just heard is audio from the camera. But if you can get
Yep.
the audio from the microphone, it's going to sound way better.
Yeah. So, and it just gets layered together.
Mhm.
That's why it makes it sound so good.
Yeah. Very nice. All right. Well, moving on to PJ.
P Jizzle in the building.
We out here. Shia. So, let me zoom in. This is actually Aaron Despiva does a show. Hot Brother and Aaron Despiva does a show. So this is
Yeah.
this is from his show.
Awesome.
Here
Yes.
we go.
Viva. Let's go, PJ.
Oh, that's loud.
Okay. First off, let's give it up one more time for AA Ron. Come on, don't be shy. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh,
Because a give it up for the host round of applause feels just as good as one meant for me. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just trying not to break my product placement contract. Okay, I was a tattoo artist for 15 years before I started comedy. And when people hear that, they're like, oh, why don't you tell more jokes about tattooing? Okay, so real quick, round of applause. Who here can relate to working in a tattoo shop? That's exactly why I don't do it. All right. But I still
Mhm.
Pause.
draw with color.
I like the beginning of this. I think he hit some just like fundamental things of getting laughs like right out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Like the crowd work on a Zoom mic is difficult, but he accomplished crowd work on a Zoom mic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then used the laughter as part of the joke, which I think is just super dope. And then he transitioned into the TJIN bit of just using that. So like I love just the improvishness of it. It feels like it wasn't set up, and I like that.
Yeah, and that's a fun way to play with like the Zoom medium as well, as you can get creative with how you do your Zoom shows, and like he's clearly using the medium to his advantage and kind of playing on the show they're in. So yeah,
For
it's a very
sure.
creative way to like get quick laughs.
Yeah, it was solid.
I almost feel like he could do, and he opened up with a personal joke. He was a tattoo artist 15 years before doing comedy. I think he could do some silly examples of like tattoo artist jokes as well. Like a knock knock, like a silly knock knock tattoo artist joke. Just something silly to be like, this is what a tattoo artist comic would be. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, they're saying PJ's volume is a lot less. All right, we'll be sure to
colored
turn
pencils
it
when
up.
I can, and I'm always looking for like a better way to sharpen my pencils. And I may not be like really, really good at it, but I get the point.
goose.
But then when people find out I'm a comic, they're like, "Ooh, you're a comic? Tell me a joke, like right now on the spot." So instead, I ask them what they do for a living. It's like, "Oh, you build houses? Okay. I know you don't have like a hammer and nails or like land to build on, but if you build me a house, I'll make fun of it." I don't know if you can tell by my face if I get real close. I have what's called Bell's palsy. It gives you stroke face. It but without the brain damage. You know? So it's like
Pause.
it's like
Pause.
diet
Yeah.
stroke.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
My favorite about this is something that comics do too, is when they will say a joke that they're expecting to get a laugh, they'll laugh at it. And then if it doesn't, then they're like,
Exactly.
But like, I like the setup. I like the setup with even with the information before the Bell's palsy. I like how he went into.
I like how personal it is. I mean, like we get a sense of his past and like
Yep.
a physical thing you may notice about him off the gate. I mean, he kind of addresses that part of it as well.
For sure.
Because that's something when I mean, this is not the same at all, but like when I had a mustache, I would like have to open up with mustache jokes because like that's what people saw.
Yeah, and it was a ridiculous mustache.
It was so, dude. I knew I had to shave it when I walked out to a show, and before I said anything, someone just I heard it from it was at the Basement Theater, so it was like a smaller black box theater. Someone from the back just goes, "Mustache." They said it just like mustache. And I was like, I gotta shave. And then Louis Anderson told me I got to host. I used to host. There's this Bonkers Comedy Club. It's like a chain of comedy clubs.
Yeah.
They used to have one. They used to have one in Andretti's Go-Kart Center. We're right next to the jackpot machine, like on the other side of the window, doing comedy. You can hear jackpots going off and like kids screaming. We're doing comedy in there. But Louis Anderson told me before a show, he's like, "Do you want to be a comic or a comic with a mustache?" So if Louis Anderson says shave it, I immediately shaved it after that.
Yeah.
And to this day, I regret I did not get a picture with him. And I regret that's like the only regret, because I don't like to ask for pictures unless I work with someone.
Yeah.
And that was, I played it too cool. I played it.
Yeah.
I'll get him on the podcast, but like I played it too cool in that moment because I had a mustache. It would have been
Weird.
great Patreon content. All right, back to PJ.
It comes with all that stroke flavor,
Hmm.
minus the street cred, the bragging rights, the super convenient parking spots.
Nice power free.
It's definitely not like an ice cold regular stroke, but it fucks up your face a bit. Oh my god, it messes up your face a bit.
Oh.
Diet stroke. I'm trying to PG my set for tonight. Oh god. All right, I'm gonna show my age here. Those pants, those pants that girls wear that say "juicy" across the butt are this generation's bum equipment sweatshirts. If anybody was
Nice.
hip to that, we can throw that joke away. This is a worthwhile here. I'm not. Recently, I started learning from my mistakes. For example, I make a lot of mistakes, and now I know that. I'm definitely look. I'm not definitely the type.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
I love the build up and the punch and the pausing in between to hit on the punch. That was
Mhm.
just a well executed joke.
Yeah, that was something I was gonna say about Kinsey's is she could slow down a little bit and like pause. Just a pause before the punch builds anticipation and helps it hit that
Yeah.
much harder.
Yeah.
Both before and after. I think Kinsey did a good job of like pausing after to let the laughter breathe. But I think she could have paused before some of her punchlines and they would have hit harder. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was great
yeah.
timing on that joke by
Yeah,
PJ.
great timing. I enjoyed that a lot. I was like,
Mhm.
ooh, I don't know where it's going because it's such a generic thing, like just to be like, I make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But it was the anticipation
Yep.
in it that
Yep.
like built up. And he's like, because I make a lot of mistakes. I was like, oh, well done.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. It's like one of those, that's like you get a Shasta swig for that one, PJ.
Oh, snap. A callback. Sponsored break. Oh, I need to. Yeah, we need to get some sound effects for this show. We need like a
ding, ding,
Shasta.
ding, 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 ding.
Oh
A
yeah,
Shasta.
we have the share horn. We'll have to get some sound effects going. Here we go.
To knock on wood, but this morning I got the worst splinter, and I'm ready to talk so much smack. Like, take your wood and go screw. That's my new vibe. Wood knocked. You've heard the
Puns.
phrase jump to conclusions, like don't jump to conclusions? Well, jumping to conclusions has much worse consequences. Jumping to conclusions has much worse consequences if you have severe depression and you're already on the edge.
Silly wordplay joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
very
best
silly
part
wordplay
of
joke.
being a male comic is getting the opportunity to meet lots of female comics and hear them talk about all the musicians that they want to get with. All right, I feel like my time's getting short, but real quick, do I have anything like 5 minutes? Oh my God, this is a 10-minute show. Hell yes. Okay. I'm in a group chat with a German girl, a Scottish guy, and a daily reminder that every other country speaks better English than America. But my life is pretty boring now because I'm married. That's a great. I love that reaction. My wife and I sleep like back to back, but we have like an arsenal by the bed, you know, like for robbers and stuff. And that's exactly what I tell her. The The truth is,
another
I
good
keep
pause.
weapons
He's
by
really got good
my
timing.
side of the bed because she's a crazy redhead, and I'm really good at pushing people's buttons.
Believe that.
Fun fact though, this morning my wife made some wicked awesome pancakes. #WAP. But marriage is a team sport. You know what I mean? Like, it's give, it's a little bit of take. It's so whatever money I make, I share with her. Just like whatever money she makes. No, actually, that's a bad example. It's like this. Jazz. When she controls it, we do boring stuff like feed the kids.
I love that. I'm loving the comparisons between him and his wife. I feel like there's more that could be done there. Like, she does this and I do that. There's a lot of like back and forth that I think you could almost like tag it up, kind of like how we were talking about with like Kinsey's, like the hoe joke or like the mispronunciation joke she was closing with. I feel like there's more of like, she does this, I do that. She does this, I do that. I feel like there's even more back and forth within that relationship you could kind of start to dive into.
Yeah. No, he had some good stuff in there. Like, there was lots of like silly wordplay stuff.
Yeah.
And then going back into the personal. My favorite thing so far, honestly, is very few comics get excited when there's more time. And I enjoyed the fact that he took the time, like, he was like, this is a 10-minute set, and got excited and had jokes ready, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't find too many people that are like, oh, this is a longer set. I can go in. Most people freak out like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Because I just used up all my arsenal. I enjoyed the fact that he got excited about the moment. So even though it was a moment, he made the best of it and still hit people up with like a joke right out the gate. So it wasn't like a nervous thing, even though we saw that, oh, he just realized that it's a longer set. So enjoyed that.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job of like performing as if it's a live show. Like, a lot of times people will phone it in on Zoom or just kind of recite it, almost like just kind of like they're reading a monologue. But I think PJ's doing a good job of making sure his personality comes through the screen, which is something
for sure
I see a lot of like comics on Zoom struggling with. So he's doing a really good job of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's get vulnerable. Here are some of my thoughts on being married. Oh shoot! Wait, I'm sorry. That last one crossed the line. I think TMI.
There's like this absurdity. Like, there's this silly absurdity that's very subtle, and I think the more he taps into it and the more he becomes self-aware of it, dude, like, there's something really absurd but very pointed about his comedy.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? He is very, very likable. Like, out of the gate, you like him because he's silly. He's got puns. It's personal.
Yeah.
And he like mixes the bag of tricks of jokes all into a set, right? Like, it's like, oh, you don't like personal stuff about who I am? Let me hit you with a silly pen pun. Like, what's the point? Like, it was just like, and so there's just a bag of tricks that he's putting on the table, and the silliness and the absurdity, it's like, oh, he's like a friend. That's really what it is. It's like, you can hang out with this guy. And I think from a bookable perspective, that's dope, because I think bookers would be like, oh, he's very easygoing. And you can tell that with his comedy. Like, you didn't have to meet him to know that he's chill and easygoing. You could just tell in the absurdity of his comedy.
And it's a contrast to like how he looks as well, which I think plays well. Is like, we talk about like in joke writing misdirects, but even misdirects within like me dabbing or me knowing some reference like pause and things like that. Like, a misdirect, I look like I would be climbing the Capitol wall with everyone else, but I'm actually the opposite. You know what I mean? So when you find those contrasts, and he's
Yeah.
smiling, he's very charismatic, but if you just saw him walking down the street, you're like, oh, he may like stab me at any moment. So I think there's a little bit of that at play as well, of like it's just a contrast to like what you would
For sure.
expect from him. But I mean, look at that, look
Yeah.
at that smile, look at his little grin right there. Yeah, and that's something I
Yeah.
didn't, because we watched these ahead of time to like want to make sure we gave good feedback. But that's something that it didn't really stand out to me until we're watching it now. Was I was like, he's got some like clever, like just
Yeah.
very subtle,
Yeah.
subtle
You-
sense of humor.
It's a swag about his jokes and his delivery. That's what it is.
Yeah,
There's a swag about, oh, okay, like I got this. And I think that's also part of like in the 5-minute thing, he was just like 10 minutes, let me go in on
True.
it. And I think that added to the intrigue of it all as well.
And what we're noticing, both him and Kinsey are smiling. And unless
sure.
your energy is like Lewis Black or Bill Burr, where you're like angry, smiling helps
Goes a long way.
a long way, because the audience mirrors you in a lot of ways. And if you're smiling, they're going to be smiling, and a smile is halfway to a laugh. So unless you're
Yeah.
angry and that's your thing, smiling always helps.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a good point.
My bad. But some of them were definitely winners. I have kids. At least one of them is wicked. Inflicted in the head. It's
Nice
hard to
misdirect.
tell when it's just like kids being kids, or if it's inflicted psychological damage. Like I have a 1-year-old, and like
I think both of those punchlines you could be more obvious with. He was kind of subtle
sure.
about the pointing. I think you
Yeah.
could literally just like be belligerent, and the wickedly. We're talking about
Yeah.
the pause before the punch, wickedly pause, and then the punchline, and that's just like a
Mhm.
setup punch misdirect. Just a little pause there, and it's going to help it land.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good joke.
Yeah.
like he eats his whole dinner and then sticks his fingers down his throat and throws it up.
Whoa.
Which is probably just weird kid stuff, right? But then afterwards he looks at you and smiles. Like, with this creepy ass smile. Like, and I'm just like calculating the therapy bill. Slowly, like, what am I doing to this kid? But recently I passed in the point of no return as a parent, where Baby Shark distracts my kid enough to shut him up, and I can still sing along with it without wanting to eat a bullet. But I'm not an idiot. Like, I know the bullet's not far off.
Eat a bullet's a bit aggressive. I think if
A
it's
bit.
Baby Shark,
bit.
I think there's like, it could be without wanting to like get eaten by a shark. I think there's a more
Yeah.
playful way, kind of like we said with Kinsey's like death by chocolate or whatnot. I think there's
Yeah.
definitely room for that.
I didn't say who it was going to.
By the way, when Yoshi Strings goes black, he can still hear and he can still speak. He's just blending into the background.
No, I love my kid. Being a stay-at-home dad forces you to be creative with discipline. And like, look, moms all this time have had just wait till your father hears about this, right? And it can kind of, keep the kid in line. But when I say, wait till your father hears about this,
It's nice.
that gets a reaction. Like fear, like I'm not a fan of.
So maybe tell us why that gets a reaction. Wait till your father hears about this. Now tell us like why that gets a reaction, or what is an example of wait till your father hears about something that's positive. Usually when wait till your father hears about this can be kind of like negative, but giving it like a positive example I think will help. It's a fun tag.
Yeah. No, that was good.
fear. I like how most people's fears is, I feel like most people's fear is just a marketing scheme so that Big Pharma can sell you more Xanax. Like, it's just real if you believe in it, like the Easter Bunny or staying just friends with an X. Like, it's all in the hype, right? Like, it's all in the name. Like murder hornets, terrifying, right? But say we call them murder wasps, way less scary. I hear murder wasps, and all I can picture is like high-strung, undersexed sociopaths from Connecticut with old money and a bone to pick with your manager. All right, I'm at the end, so this is we'll close with this. All right, I want to talk about a little about freestyle rapping. Comedy, like I said, is about sharing vulnerabilities. And that being said, I'm a pretty decent rapper. So I'd like to bust out a little something for you. If anybody can give me a beat, anyone? If not, I'll go a cappella. I'm cool. Look at that jazz, man! Like, you can't even see the tape. We got the bow on top and everything. I'm the illest white rapper. My mom actually taught me how, and this is a little something I like to call stage presence.
Oh.
2 steps, fulfill my contract. Thank you for having me on, Aaron. My Twitter, my Instagram is my name, The Real PJ Keen. Facebook, just, I don't know, find me.
Find you, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, the rapper misdirect. Yeah.
The presence was well done. And the callback to the TJIN, which was at the beginning.
Right,
was a well orchestrated rap on his set. And he cleaned, like, just, it was a nice bow on it.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it was good.
I loved
enjoyed that set.
I really enjoyed it. I love the absurdity, and I think the more that's part of like developing as a comic is realizing the quirks about you. Like, I realize with this sarcasm is like a quirk about me that I can really lean into. So like discovering like what your quirks are, and you can start to build and write material around those quirks is really how your voice starts to develop. And the absurdity is very fun and fresh.
Yeah. No, I like the personal, personal with the silly plus puns, right? Like, you don't get a lot of that like in a comic. You know what I mean? Usually you get like one or the other, or like one more than this. But like, I feel like his set was just personal, silly, and punny, all wrapped in one.
And that's what made George Carlin so great, was his ability to do so many different aspects of comedy. He could do storytelling. He could do wordplay. He could do one-liners. He could do so many different types of comedy, which is really what made his overall body of work so impressive, is just the diversity within his ability. So yeah, PJ's got a nice recipe going there.
For sure.
All right. Well, we got one more here.
One more.
This is gonna be John Chappell.
Let me reset this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and reset that. Yeah, guys, this is our first of many we're gonna be doing here, so definitely buckle up. We'll have a more structured submission process and whatnot, and making sure people aren't sending us 10-minute sets so we can review more sets. But we're so happy and grateful that even John, Kinsey, and PJ were willing to share their videos and let us dive into them. So I hope y'all are finding this helpful. If y'all are, definitely like share the show, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you want to see the video in the future and other content Yoshi and I have been doing, definitely join the Hot Breath Patreon that's linked in the description of this video.
Whoop, whoop.
Ouch, yeah.
Ouch, yeah.
I cut you off. Are you okay?
No. I was just like, whoop, whoop. on the
Oh.
Patreon.
Word. Yeah. Oh, there's some dope stuff happening.
It was
over
my
there,
own.
man.
It was my own sound effect since we don't have sound effect buttons yet.
Oh yeah, we don't. I
I'm
don't want to
like,
do a police sound effect. I'm gonna sound like a Karen if I have a police sound effect on here with you.
whoop whoop.
We do have a party sound effect. Anyway.
That's funny.
Oh, PJ said, did you just compare me to Carlin?
No, we did
Really?
not. Slow down, homie.
But just imagine.
We didn't compare you to Carlin, but PJ, for real, your set just had so much like depth to it. Like that's what we liked about it. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't like one type of style that you displayed. You displayed like multiple types of styles in one set. It was just like refreshing to watch someone do different types of stuff in one 10-minute bit. So that's what I enjoyed about it. But Carlin, come on now, homie.
Let's see if lightning strikes twice before he's like, oh, am I Carlin or I just luck into these dumb jokes?
Yeah.
I just love it. He's like, Joel and Yoshi just compare me to Carlin. And you like, not even like, well, you're like, no, what? Have you even done a live show yet? You do a Zoom show and now you're Carlin? You just like, it was just like how just fatherly that no was. It's like he was asking for another cookie. Like, no,
you cannot
you had
have
yours.
cookie.
Now back to reality. I
You
can
didn't
just
give
feel
your brother
myself
the
as a
other
young
cookie.
comic seeing comics reviewing my set that I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, all this feedback. I am Carlin. No.
But hey, I want you to believe that you can be Carlin.
Yes.
That's the one thing I will definitely let you know.
Yes.
That there's no stopping you from becoming Carlin.
Yep.
For sure.
For sure.
But we were not comparing you to Carlin. Let's make sure we don't get that twisted. But I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Here's the thing from a bookable perspective. If you cut off like the beginning of it, right? Like that was a bookable set.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Like because it showed a lot of personality. You showed different types of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Really, probably the only thing I'd say is like, if a joke doesn't hit, like let it go or have something like in the chamber and hit. But outside of that, here's the thing. Bookers aren't going to watch, like, they're not watching your whole 10 minutes either. So they're watching like either something at the beginning or they'll go like I've heard bookers say they'll watch a little bit at the beginning, fast forward to the middle, see if they can still laugh, and then fast forward to your closer. Like they'll just go like a minute and a half before your closer, and that's all they'll watch because they're watching a lot of comedy. So just know that that's kind of where some bookers will just book. But good stuff, man. Good stuff, PJ.
Yeah, agree, man. Keep it up. Yep. I appreciate you tying that back around because, we're not saying he can't become Carlin, but one thing at a time. One thing at a time. But you're on the right track, PJ, so keep it up.
For sure.
All right, our finale here, Mr. John Chappell.
John Chappell.
A hot Breathiverse OG. I mean, he's been in the group basically since day Diz one. Since basically we started last March, since like this whole community really started to come to life, and since then he's been writing a lot. He's really been helping other comics. The show that we saw Kinsey at, that was actually his show. Super active. I mean, like really, like what the Hot Breathiverse is all about. Like a inspired comic that's positive and wants to support other comics in this crazy journey that we're all on. And he's also replaced my water heater, so he's a good guy all around.
He talks the talks and walks the walk.
That's right, baby. Yeah, got me the hookup. Made me feel super fancy telling my wife, yeah, we got the hot breath hookup. We got the hot breath discount there for our hot water. But yeah, just a super nice guy, such a value and a resource here in the hot breathiverse that I'm so excited for what he's going to achieve in his career.
For sure.
Thanks for hanging out, Kenzie. Kenzie's got to go to a basketball game. She's being a good parent despite what her jokes said. So thanks for hanging out. And yes,
way to support your kids, Kenzie.
And Wu-Tang, we are in the A. Thanks for asking, my friend.
In the A.
So here we go, Johnny boy.
Next to the stage, we have a very lovely lady for you, coming all the way from Atlanta, the scandalous, the sexy John Chappelle. Here's the stripper joker.
That is the first time I've been introduced as a lady since I did that drag show.
Nice.
But no, he is right. My name is John Chappell. I do live in Atlanta, but I'm originally from England. And most people don't know this, though, unless I show them my green card or my teeth.
I think there's actually a chance.
When we first moved over, we
for
moved
a
from
power
London,
of threes
England to Great Falls, Montana.
Yeah,
I
there's
think,
definitely
like,
a chance
my,
for.
Yeah, my green card, my blank, and my teeth. I think he could definitely get away with one there.
Yeah. No, for sure. Right off the bat, it's really hard to see this.
As for like a bookable set?
For a bookable set,
I
mainly
agree.
because if a booker can't see your facial expressions, they don't know how you perform the jokes.
Yeah.
So this is probably good for you to hear it, but definitely wouldn't submit this just because it's hard to see and hard to watch you move on stage.
Agreed.
Montana. That was a culture shock. It's like putting Grey Poupon on a peanut butter and jelly. We're going to see the Beatles and getting the Dixie Chicks. When we moved, my dad told
Probably
me.
another power of threes could be done there. Like
Yeah.
the Grey Poupon, the Dixie Chicks, and blank. I'm just thinking of those are funny examples. I think a third one could really bring them all together.
Yeah.
He said, John, you're in America now. You need to learn baseball. I was like, okay. So he takes me out in the yard to teach me to play catch. And I can't catch a lick, so it was pretty much target practice for him. And I got better at being a target. And I finally figured out if I stopped throwing it back, I stopped getting hit. But I eventually made a team, though. It was one of those that everybody's on. They picked me last, but I made it. And about halfway through the season, the coach comes up to me and says, John, you've been doing better. I want to get you some more playing time. And I was like, I'm going to get to play? He said, yep, handed me a jersey, told me the other team showed up with 8.
I think overall, I like him going for the act out. I say commit to it. It's easier said than done, but really commit to that act out. People were responding to it, even though it was kind of like halfway done.
Yeah. I mean, and I would say the big thing, I mean, even though it's hard to see, I think the thing for him, especially because so far his jokes have been sort of on the one-liner sort of beat kind of, right? Is that he's got to perform the joke bigger than the joke itself. So he's got to really like get performing each of the joke and like moving around a little bit more.
Yeah, slowing down a little bit too, I would say. Because like even like the pause on like I got better at being a target. Like if you pause, I got better at being a target. Like a pause there. Now it's a setup punch and not just like a phrase you're saying all at once.
Yep. Yeah. No, great point.
Yeah. I had to get better though, so I played. They put me out in right field because that's where you had all the kids that suck.
Right field where everyone got left out, something like that. I don't know. I was trying to think.
Yeah. Where everyone got left out. I think, much better. I mean, obviously you could tell from the silence that most people didn't get that. But also just from the, like, I think it's a reference that you have to know for baseball. You know what I mean?
Right
like,
field?
Yeah. Like you have to know that that's where they put people. Like him telling us that that's where it is. Even if he's educating us, there's not a punch to know that that's what happens. So you have to
Oh,
know
right.
that you have to know that info to find it funny.
Mm-hmm.
Into the game, true story. It was a fly ball to right field, 2 front teeth. The benefit was it improved my smile.
Nice.
But they've got some, well, let me tell you this first. I was in high school when we moved over, and being from England, I was like, all the TV shows, the popular kids date the cheerleaders. So I was like, I'm gonna date a cheerleader. So I found one, and she wasn't just any cheerleader. She was the base of the pyramid.
Oh, yes.
There was nobody else though, it was just her. She was the whole base. Yeah, she was more than a girlfriend though. She was like 4 girlfriends.
Nah, that's fun.
I think it's because she ate from the top of the food pyramid. We dated for a while. It was one of those things where, we would go out to eat, and she'd be like, hey, can I have your food? And I'd be like, no, it's mine. And she didn't like that, so we broke up.
Even just doing a voice, like her voice versus your voice, will help bring that joke to life more. More of a contrast in voices would help.
Yeah, and going into an example of like the actual food that she'd ask you for.
Yes.
Like, just like, oh, you want those tater tots? You want those?
Yes.
And you'd be like, no, these are my tater tots. Or just like you said, right? Just even shifting the voice, but because it's such a visual thought, like, oh, she'd ask me for my food and I'd give it to her, versus she'd take my tater tots and I'd be like, no, you don't get my tater tots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
He could get more upset with it, or more kind
For-
of like
yeah,
protective
exactly.
of his, and specific
Yeah.
food.
yeah.
Oh, him getting more
Yeah.
protective of them? Like, my tater tots. It's like, don't be
These
such
are
a
my tater
prude.
tots. But yeah, no, I do like the setup.
Being
to
from
it.
England though,
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I was just saying I like the setup into the food example.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
there's some really cool stuff over there. Like their desserts are phenomenal. I miss them. Like they have the trifles, the jam roly-polies, but by far my favorite is the spotted dick.
It's like power of threes is just like 1, 2, 3. It's like cannolis, jolies, spotted dicks. Like it's just it needs more of like a snap to it than this, and then the roly polies. But my by far favorite, could be, and my favorites, the spotted dicks. Just tighten it up.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, too much fluff. As we talk about spotted dicks.
Right. But the power of threes is there. But as we're talking about refining the joke, I mean, all of that, all of those words and all of that timing matters.
Yep. Yeah. And
if you don't believe the spotted dick is a real...
I'm sorry?
And you get to the punch faster.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of our edits, like, you're going to lose time, but you're going to get stronger. Your jokes are going to get tighter. Your laughs per minute are going to increase. And you'll start to find new angles on the joke. Now that there's not that much time, you're like, oh, well, how can I add more time? You'll start to find ways to add tags on the other end of the joke, as opposed to all this filler to the lead up. Now you're going to have the punchline, and you're going to start to find all these tags you can fill that time with.
For sure. Because spotted dick is a funny line.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
Real dessert. I need you to go to your local grocery store, go to the international food aisle, and ask for Keith. He has the best recipe.
I think instead of recipe here, you just say he has the best spotted dick. Like, instead of recipe, like say spotted dick again, and you talk about Keith having spotted dick will be funny.
Yeah. You just walk in and you look at him and you say, Keith, he'll send you to the speckled taint, and that is not the same dessert. They have some different vocabulary over there too. Like they call an eraser a rubber, which makes sense. You use a rubber, it erases the possibility of kids. And they call a sweater a jumper. over here, a jumper is just suicidal. They used to have to take the elevator all the way up to be effective,
Ooh.
you know. I actually had to talk a jumper down one time too, and I was just like, do it. I kind of felt bad afterwards because he leaned over, he's like, what? And then he fell.
So a big difference we're seeing in John's set, besides the dearth of laughs, are really it comes down to, I just want to use a liberal arts word there. I think a big difference we're seeing here, how personal the material is. Like you being an immigrant is interesting. Like we talk about Kinsey talking about her being a parent and then how she grew up and how her parents were, and PJ talking about his own life experiences as parents and with Bell's palsy and things. It's like that personal is what's really going to connect. And I'm not saying he may not get back into it, but just like a talk for a jumper down, you know, it's like where's John in all this?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, he talks about stuff about his dad, but it doesn't connect back to the other stuff to give you a perspective, like you said, right, of who is John in this. I know one thing that I've gotten in the past is like, just something to remember is like, yes, I have kids, but what's my perspective about kids, right? Like, what's my angle on my own kids? Like, you talk about like you're married and you're a trophy husband, but what's your perspective around it, right? And you talk about it, you're like, oh, okay, I outsourced. You know what I mean? Like just good stuff that just like, that's funny because that's your perspective on it, is that you outsourced your wife. Sorry, didn't mean to give away your joke, but you know.
No worries at all. It's available at joelbyerscomedy.com. My wife will thank you. Hold on. There we go. A little ding sound effect. All right, here we go, Johnny boy. We're not saying this is wrong. I mean, these are just observations to help. When we're talking about a bookable set, a booker's going to want to hear your point of view.
Yeah.
The best part, though, is they have the equivalent of our dollar store in England. It's just really awkward to ask somebody to go with you because I was talking to my sister and I was like, hey, sis, do you want to go to Pound Town?
So that's the joke.
Yeah.
Equivalent of dollar store. It's called Pound Town, which is awkward asking your sister to go. Like, the punch is the Pound Town, and then the tag is the sister.
For sure. Yeah, it's just a reorganization of it.
I don't know what was more awkward, the fact that she said yes or Raina put a dress and makeup on. I took her to Pound Town because she needed a pregnancy test and I need an eraser.
It's a good callback.
I always wondered like what my family history was, so I did an ancestry DNA test. Yeah, I got the results back, found out that I'm actually 5% Nigerian, 5% Chinese, and 90% sweatshop owner.
He's in Georgia.
That 10% is from my biological father's side, which makes sense though, because that's the same amount of time he was in my life.
There you go.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
You know, I did forget. I forgot to.
The more about that, you know, like an absent father, you're an immigrant from the UK. Like those are the types of things. What are things that John can say and talk about that no one else can?
Yeah. I mean, and he started with it. I don't know if this is towards the end, but it's like, that was interesting. We want to hear more.
All you guys, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. 2020 was a crazy time with everything going on. Have any of you guys been tested recently for STDs? Which one? Now it's a no, I see. Did you guys know they changed the acronym of STD to STI, S-T-I? Yep, they have. Look it up. They're trying to make it sound more like an eye infection, so it's not as serious. No, I actually had to get tested before Christmas, and the reason I got tested is because I was in the bathroom and I was dropping a deuce, and I was like, I don't smell anything. So I licked it and I was like, I don't taste anything either.
So, just for the sake of like act out, instead of saying I licked it, you could actually like go and pick it up and like act out like tasting it. And it you could be like you don't smell anything, or you act like you're wiping it and you're like I don't smell anything, and then you go to taste it. I don't taste anything. So now it's like all in one moment.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity to bring a very like I don't think the joke is going to divide a room, but people just do get grossed out by like shit jokes, obviously. But like you're bringing them into it. You know what I mean? Like the visually it helps rather than them visualizing it themselves. If you're visualizing it, you're like, I don't smell it, and then you do the I didn't taste. You know what I mean? Like it just helps like, with the joke. So now I think there's an opportunity to do more with a very nasty joke.
For sure. It is nasty. Yeah, I mean, at the core of it, yeah, it is. I love that about comedy writing, though, which I love about like Write 10 Club every day is just like, oh, your eating poop joke could be refined a little bit this way. Only in comedy, nowhere else in the creative space is someone like, your poop painting. If it just had a few more lines in it, I think it would really bring it to life. Where's the context for the poop? Maybe it's at the park. Maybe it's at a baby shower. Paint the picture.
But no, I did have it, so I had to quarantine and all that, and almost ruined Christmas, but it didn't. But I think, with all the new strains they say that are coming out now, I think I ended up with the redneck strain. Because when I got done quarantining, I went out and I had an F-150 in my driveway. And somehow all of the sleeves were cut off my shirts, and my IQ was lower.
See, you got COVID. That's super interesting. That's a rich topic. You got COVID in the middle of a pandemic. Tell us more.
Yeah. And then I feel like the redneck joke felt too easy. Like you went for the most obvious lower IQ joke about a redneck, and it's like everyone's expecting that, so it's not a surprise.
It's not, especially you know what I mean.
So was it
like? I mean, I'm not saying you're a redneck, John, but I mean you would fit the bill.
Yeah.
If you're not, I think you're in a Browning shirt as well. So it's almost like you saying you got the redneck COVID is like, oh well. Yeah, you are redneck COVID. It's like, what's a sillier, more absurd type strain of COVID you could have gotten? Maybe you went back to your English accent or something like that.
Yeah, but also like to your point about what you said earlier, like be aware of like your own look. Like no one, when I saw John, I didn't think, yeah, this dude's from England. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
You look like every other person I've seen down south of Georgia. You know what I mean? So like you got to be aware. Like, I mean, like you said, like you look like you climbed the wall on Tuesday. So it just, you have to be aware of the look as well. So when you punch at yourself like that, it's got to be a surprise or a misdirect that people don't see coming. Whereas the redneck joke, people saw it coming and expected it. And that's probably why they didn't laugh either.
Yes, which is becoming a theme. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, John.
This comedy thing, it doesn't pay a lot of money unless you're big time, which, as you can tell, I'm not big time yet. Yeah, that's true, unfortunately. We will be there, though, at some point. So I have to have a real job, and I'm a plumber. Specialty laying pipe.
Nice. Personal joke.
But
yeah.
Lay that pipe. That's good. But no, I'm pretty sure whoever invented plumbing is a misogynistic asshole. because they named everything after Dick. Like we have gas cocks, silk cocks, ball cocks. Then they invented a blow bag. Definitely a misogynist, right? Yeah. So basically, I just play with cock all day.
That's an opportunity for a spotted dick callback for sure.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere
Yeah, good call.
Oh snap! Did I just lose it? Oh, there we go.
All right, guys, coming next to the stage, we have
Oops.
a very
My bad. Here we go.
You're one of the first women that said yes. It's always the white guys with the beard.
Sorry, guys.
You have gas cocks,
There we
silk
go.
cocks, ball cocks. Then they invented a blow bag. Definitely a misogynist, right? Yeah. So basically, I just play with cock all day. You know what I'm saying? I've actually been thinking about changing careers. Has anybody ever thought about becoming a hitman?
Yes. Fuck yeah.
You're one of the first women that said yes. It's always the white guys with the beards. So yeah, but you gotta have standards if you're gonna be a hitman, right? Like mine will be no women, no children, no gays. And I say that because I mean they're pretty much just one of the ladies. But,
Hell no! What? What? In this economy? In this economy? Hell no! Redneck COVID face ass. What? They're pretty much one of the ladies in 2021. Hell no.
Oh, your reaction is the best.
Hell no. That's your punchline. Now we only roast John because we know he can handle it. Like we've known John almost for a year now, so we know he can handle the tough love.
For sure.
Yeah, but you know, so that's why we're like being fun about it. But
Yeah.
that joke won't travel.
I forget how do the kids say? You got to dead that joke. You got to dead that.
Yo, pause AF on that.
Pause AF.
Yo, they're one of the. I was like, what are we in the fit? What is this?
And in Atlanta too, in ATL.
I know. An ATL of all places. I felt like we were back at Mrs. Maisel or something, like back in those times. Sasha said, I need that noise added to Right 10 immediately.
It was like a screeching, like
I was just like, he's not going there. He's not going there. And then he like slam dunked it. I was like, bruh.
Yeah, he alley-ooped that bitch.
Yeah, he win. I was like, he's gonna misdirect this. And I was like, no, he doubled down on it.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Nick's is saying, the risk of sassy gay confrontation is too real. I mean, it's just such low hanging, like outdated, like I was gonna say low hanging fruit, no pun intended, but it's
outdated, but also like you're gonna get uncomfortableness in a crowd, and there's nothing wrong with like uncomfortableness, but it's got to be uncomfortably funny.
Yes.
Right. Like if you're just uncomfortable just for the sake of uncomfortable, that's not the reaction that you want because they're not laughing. At the end of the day, you want laughs.
Funny.
If there's a groan and a laugh, you still got to laugh.
Yeah.
But if there's just a groan, no laughs, you just got a groan and you made people uncomfortable. There's a huge difference.
And I'm funny first above all things. That's the thing about watching like a Bill Burr or someone who like goes way out there but makes it funny. That's someone who spent over half their life figuring out how to do that. You know what I mean? So it's like learn the fundamentals, learn the layups first before you start throwing Hail Marys out here. But funny. I'm not saying you can't make gay jokes. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying funny first. It's got to be funny.
For sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
John said, "I'm working on it." It was just like, I know we're just having fun, John.
Yeah.
John's like, "Hey, I wanted
Here's the thing.
feedback."
This is gonna get you nice and tight, John. Like this is
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We've seen the stuff you used to do, and your joke writing has gotten amazingly better.
Oh my gosh. Without a doubt, for sure. Without a doubt. I think he's just saw us call PJ Carlin, and now he's like, wait, all of a sudden I'm a homophobe? You know what I mean? Hilarious. Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
I didn't even know Sasha was watching, but when I made that noise, he's like, yo, that's got to go on. Right, Tim's sound effects. All right, here we go.
I'll leave you guys with this.
Landing the plane.
Let's land
With
it.
the new year, I've been thinking about like some of the things I was thankful for and some of the mistakes I've made. And like my biggest mistakes were as a teenager. Like I had hair just like this, except it was longer, and I didn't have soul glow back then. But it was just a big afro, and everybody called me pubert.
That's funny.
And then I asked my parents if I could get a tattoo, and they were like, not till you're 18. So when I was 17, I was like, I'm getting one. So I have my initials put right here in Old English, JC. Again, a big mistake, because now all of my friends are like, what does that mean, jizz catcher? Yeah. But the one thing I realized I'm really thankful for, though, is my biological father, because he's the one that taught me it's okay not to take care of your children. But thank you. I am John Chaplin. You guys have been great.
I'm so glad we saved this one for last. Oh my god. Jizz catcher. Hey. Yo.
I was like,
I'm sorry. Let me just.
they're like, what does that mean, jizz catcher? But the one thing I realized I'm really thankful for, though, is
that lady's reaction.
Oh my god. Dude.
Her reaction.
Oh.
Hey.
Did you hear the tag? She called back his joke about laying pipe.
Oh, did she?
Oh my god, dude.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Dude.
but the one thing
Let's hear it from the beginning.
again, a big mistake, because now all of my friends are like, what does that mean, jizz catcher? But the one thing
Laying that pipe.
They tagged it. They called it back. They called it back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude.
That's so funny.
Oh
So
man. And dude, Stanley just had a great idea. If we watch some of our old tapes, that would be hilarious. We should definitely do that.
Dude.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should
I'd be
definitely do
down.
that. Yeah, because we're not
Yeah.
trying to we're not. I mean, we know John, so we can have fun with it. Like this is all part of the writing process. Like this is all part of developing comedy. Is you do a lot. I would do shows like this. Basically, I was on stage every night. Like every night of the week, I was on stage at least once. A lot of the times doing shows like this, doing strip clubs, doing public buses, doing sidewalks, doing
Public buses.
nightclubs that got shut down for a shooting and reopened in another name, and then shut down for a shooting again, and then reopened in the first name. Like I've performed for it all. So like I don't want this to come off as like we're punching down at all. I mean, we're having fun with it. This is the side of comedy people don't see. A bar, late at night, terrible lighting, drunk audience. You're just trying your best to do the jokes you worked hard on. This
For
is
sure.
the side of comedy that people don't see. So when you guys see us laughing, we're not by any means trying to like disrespect. This is comedy right here. What we're experiencing like live, this is the reality of comedy. It's not a Netflix
Yeah.
special. It's late night bar, just surviving.
Yeah. like, I don't know. I've seen more sets like this than the majority of in my comedy career.
Oh,
Like this,
yes. Oh, for sure. For sure. So we're just seeing John in the trenches right now. I think there's like a second left. Let me see.
The one thing I realized I'm really thankful for, though, is my biological father, because he's the one that taught me it's okay not to take care of your children.
Oh, a callback. Nice.
So thank you. I am John Chapel. You guys have been great.
Nice. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. Woo! All right. Let's land this plane. I will say we did not anticipate a 2-hour jam session on 3 sets, but we definitely appreciate it. And we appreciate John, Kinsey, and PJ for being willing to share and kind of go on the chopping block here. I think that's a great idea that Stanley had as well, that we actually like play our early sets on here. I think, was it Stanley? Yeah, Stanley. Yeah, I say we do one of these where we play our early sets. But we'll put the full video up on our Patreon as well. But I think the big takeaways that we're seeing here, besides we're talking about John's set. Look at Yoshi's set. That was the camera. But I think the big takeaways here for just all 3 sets are just word economy, how personal your jokes are as well. I think the big takeaway really is like word economy and how how personal your jokes are. What's your point of view? What are jokes you can say that no one else could say? Do you have anything?
For
Yoshi?
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to switch cameras on y'all.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. We're landing the plane right now. I saw the battery was low. So yeah, we did not anticipate 2 hours. Like, we'll review a couple sets, 10 minutes. Okay. And now we're like 2 hours later. This was a lot of fun.
2 hours in, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think with all of them, like you said, right? Like personal works, like with PJ's, sort of just bringing different elements into your style as well.
Yeah.
And then with Kinsey, like you mentioned, like just pausing. Like every once in a while, just take a breath, especially in between big punches, big punchlines. It's always good just to take a breath when that's happening.
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, overall, I mean, great job to everyone. You know, I mean, everyone definitely had some positives and also some rooms for improvement. So we're on to something here, Yoshi.
Oh, yeah. We on to something.
My man. Well, this was fun, dude. We'll be doing more of these for sure. And we'll have a more efficient booking process. But I think our wives are probably like, what is happening right now? They're just in their rooms yelling. So we should probably go back to that. But if you guys want more fun content with Yoshi and I and a lot more, go join the Patreon. Come on.
Yeah, let's go get it.
Get in while the getting's good. Anything else you have, Yoshi, or gonna land?
No, man, I think the key, man, just keep trying. Like, those are the sets that get you nice and strong. And that, you know, you got to just keep grinding. Like, the work of comedy is just to keep doing it.
Yep.
So whether it's live mic, if you can get on a live mic, or a Zoom mic, as we saw, PJ killed a Zoom mic.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
He did his jokes on a Zoom mic. People will book you off a Zoom mic. Remember that. Like, you can get booked off of a Zoom mic. I've got friends in California. They're getting paid more now off of Zoom mics than they used to off of like live mics, because people are just doing like tip jars and stuff, and people are generous. So just know, just getting up, performing, that's the key.
Yep. My man. Yep. It's work, but it's worth it. And we appreciate y'all hanging out, Hot Breathiverse. You know, if you're not in our Facebook group, we do a daily writing club in there every day. So go join that.
Every day. 10 minutes a day.
Every day. New word, new joke in 10 minutes. Can you do it? We'll see.
You got it? You got the juice? You got the pen juice?
We'll see y'all on the other side. Hot Breathiverse. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.